What's up, Domicon fans? It's your boy Domicon here, back with another reaction video. Today we're going to be watching yet another scary video. Since Halloween already passed, I'm just going to be doing a couple of these to kind of make up for the holiday. So we're going to be watching this. This is going to be a two-part video. We're going to be watching this, and then we're going to watch another video after this one. So let's get right into it.
Years ago when I was in second grade, I'm 22 now, my parents one morning finally felt confident in allowing me to stay home from school by myself and stay home without a babysitter until they came
I remember when my parents let me stay home for the first time. It was awesome.
home. That morning my father gave me a house key, showed me the emergency numbers in the yellow book, and gave me instructions on what to do if stupid things happen like the house catching on fire. After school that day I came home, put the key in the door and walked into my house. I felt free, and I felt privileged that I was finally a big boy, and that I could now be on my own at home. Needless to say, I kinda got caught up in the moment, and ate tons of ice cream while watching Terminator on VHS, since my parents would never let us watch anything other than PG-13.
Terminator is not
Around
that
5
bad.
that day, I heard the doorbell ring. My dad told me to never answer the door by myself, even if they were home. I walked to our family room where I could get a good view of who was out there. Maybe my dad was just getting a package or something. He did always enjoy ordering things online. I saw a middle-aged man standing in a dark blue jacket that I've never seen before. He rang the doorbell again, and I expected him to leave after no one answered. After a third ring, I saw him walk down the steps and I assumed he was leaving. I went back to watching Terminator when I noticed something outside my kitchen window. The man was in our backyard for some odd reason. I felt scared for my life since some stranger was on my property. I ran under the kitchen table and grabbed the cordless phone from the counter and proceeded to call my dad's work number. My dad answered, and I exclaimed how a strange man was in the backyard and was now proceeding to try and open the sliding door. My dad told me to stay where I was and to call the neighbors. He would call 911. I told my dad I loved him, and he said he would call me immediately after he called 911. Before I could call my neighbor, the man was able to somehow open our family room window. I feared for my wife and ran to the bathroom and locked the door and called our neighbors.
Should have everything locked.
After 30 seconds, I hear my neighbor running through our house, shouting my name to see if I was okay. She said that...
I don't know why it's funny to me, but the way that she just ran in the house, the way they animated it, look, just like a slight jog. Look at this.
Called our neighbors. After 30 seconds, I hear my neighbor running through our house, shouting my name.
And what kind of neighbor just runs into someone's house knowing there could be someone that so weird.
To see if I was okay. She said that she saw no one in the house, and we stayed in the bathroom until the police arrived. The police conducted their investigation and told us that they found some fingerprints that matched a recently released convict who was previously in jail for breaking into homes.
You just got released for breaking into homes, and you immediately go and break in someone's house? Come on, bro. How stupid can some of these people
leave
be?
Me alone without a babysitter.
Stupid.
Until I went to high school.
All right, now we're gonna watch horrifying stalker stories animated.
In my early days after graduating college, I didn't have a lot of money, so I had to rent an apartment with someone else who I'd never met before. He'd become my roommate, and his name was Randall. At first, he seemed easy enough to get along with. He didn't talk too much, but he had a heavy Spanish accent. The room I'd be getting was already furnished, and that was one of the appealing factors to this apartment. It had a twin-sized bed tucked in the corner, a nice-sized dresser, a closet, and a TV stand in another corner of the room. There were a bunch of stuffed animals sitting on the dresser, though, which I found a bit odd, most notably a big teddy bear facing the bed. When I asked Randall about the stuffed animals, he gave a really loud laugh and said his room had the same thing. He recommended I leave them be as to show respect to the landlord. I didn't really...
Nope. How much you want to bet that he's gonna somehow use the teddy bear for something? Like why would they have like teddy bears just sitting around? I'm trying to think. Maybe like it's like one of those movies where he has like cameras Stalled in the eyes. I'm guessing that's my guess right now. Let's see if I'm right.
They talked to Randall much that first day other than that. I spent most of my time unpacking my clothes and supplies and setting up my TV. When I was laying in the bed watching TV that night, I thought I heard something. It was a very
Camera from the
noise,
teddy
but
bear.
it was
Camera.
definitely audible, and it sounded like some kind of small electronic component.
Camera.
I chalked it up to being
Called
a
it.
house noise and continued my show.
That's what it is.
The next day, Randall wasn't home all day. I didn't know if or where he worked, but I just assumed he was at work. That night, when I was in my room watching TV, I heard the front door open, and Randall walked through the hall to his room before shutting the door. A little later, I was getting changed into my pajamas when I heard the same sound from the night before. This time without the TV noise in the background, so I heard it much clearer. It was definitely some kind of electronic device, but I didn't know what or where. It still didn't seem like a big deal, so I got into my bed and started reading my current book at the time, then went to sleep. The next day, I saw Randall when I came home after work, and he asked me what book I was reading. At first I didn't get the question, but then he said he was talking about the book that I was reading in my room. I looked at him in silence and
Okay, he's basically giving away that he's talking to you. How the hell does he know you're reading that book if you were reading it in your room and he wasn't in your room when you were reading the book?
confusion. I asked him how he knew I was reading a book, and he said in his heavy Spanish accent that he had to go into my room just to take something out that he left in there, and that's when he noticed the book. I asked him nicely not to go into my room anymore. Unfortunately, there wasn't a lock on the door, so I couldn't stop him when I wasn't home.
That's when you buy
That
one.
night, when I grabbed my book from under my bed, I stopped and wondered, how would he see my book if I had it under my bed? Thinking about this now creeped me out, and I was in no mood to read anymore. I looked around the room as I thought to myself. Then I noticed that big teddy bear on the dresser again.
Oh my god, was I right?
It was angled so perfectly to face me in the bed.
Was I right?
Then I had a
Tell me I was right.
scary thought.
Tell me I was
stood up
right.
and walked over to the bear, grabbed it, and
Tell me I was
looked
right.
into its eyes.
Was I right?
I felt my heart skip a beat when I realized there was a camera at one of the eye holes.
Bro, I'm too smart for scary stuff. I'm too smart for scary shit. Okay? God damn, I'm good. Whew. If I notice a big teddy bear, I'm gonna turn that bit away. Oh crap.
I threw the thing into the corner of the room and went to Randall's door and tried opening it. His door apparently had a lock because it wouldn't open, but I knew he was in there. I pounded on the door, screaming his name, but he wouldn't answer.
I pounded on his door. What the hell is that?
I saw the light sneaking in through the bottom of the door go dark, as I assumed he turned off the light. I went back to my room and called the landlord.
Nope.
I explained everything and told him I'm leaving right now, and I had a valid reason to void the contracts. I packed the little amount of things I brought into my car and left that same night, never looking back. The landlord surprisingly never even came to me to collect the money for those few days I was there. Ever since that night, I have a phobia of stuffed bears. Like, I always have to turn them away so that they're not facing me.
Okay, sure. Alright, yeah, boys. Let's see. I think I'm gonna end it there. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I will be posting a new Spider-Man video on Tuesday, and also a surprise Halloween-themed game video. And it's not Fortnite. Don't even ask, because I already know about the Fortnite mirrors, and it's annoying because those zombies always follow me like. So. Yeah, and the video here, we got the Spider-Man is going to be up on Tuesday, along with a special horror game. I'm not going to tell you. If you can guess it in the comments, please do. I'll throw in a free t-shirt that I've been selling. I think I told you guys about my merch. I'll talk more about that. But, see you guys on the flip side. Peace.